on the OBS, but I'm not sure if it's going through on YouTube at the moment. I'm fucking up. Oh wait, no, here it is. Okay.
Hooray!
Okay. Welcome to everybody who's going to eventually tune into this, either as a recording or as we do it now. My name is Steve the Wicked, and I'm joined here tonight by Magic Steve. Magic Steve, say hi.
Hooray!
And we're here today to talk a little bit about pretty much just the hashtag WTFU and what it means. No, not what the fuck. It's not that. I know you want to think it's that, but it's not that.
I thought that.
We all did. No, it's talking about Where's the Fair Use, the internet campaign that was started essentially by Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic, sort of to bring to light all the bullshit that we as content creators have to go through when it comes to YouTube and its stupid, broken-ass content ID system. It's just me and Magic Steve at the moment. Zenith Will Rule is going to be on shortly, whenever he gets a chance, and then maybe Lady Jess will be on later tonight. Otherwise, it's just us, two Steves. So, hey, what do you think of that?
Steve squared. Love it.
Yeah. All right, so for those of you who don't know, I just made mention of it. Basically, WTFU is a campaign that was started by Doug Walker of the Nostalgia Critic fame, going on about the Content ID system and how broken it is. And that was started because of the problems they were having over at Channel Awesome with their channel being just hit with a bunch of bullshit copyright strikes that were limiting their abilities to make money and to combat the content claims they were getting. And it's basically been a way to get attention to what we've been going through on YouTube, what a whole bunch of people are going through. It's especially been blowing up with the incidents that have happened with people like Team 4-Star and I Hate Everything and just all of the nonsense. So we're here basically to sort of share our personal experiences with it and just sort of talk about it. I mean, this is pretty much an impromptu hangout, more or less. Well, I say impromptu even though I did plan it. So we're here basically to sort of share.
Good enough. Impromptu, planned, who gives a shit? We're having fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. We're here to talk about it and just
I'm having fun!
Exactly. That's the point. You gotta have fun.
Good old
So I guess I'll start. Working on YouTube is just, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I'll say that first and foremost. It is fun. But with the amount of shit that we have to go through, whether you're a small channel like myself or you're a big channel like Channel Awesome, you're going to constantly go through a whole bunch of crap in regards to content ID and copyright, and the system that YouTube has in place is broken as all get out. It's completely slanted against the content creator.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's inevitable. If you put something on YouTube, eventually you're going to come up with content ID shit that you need to deal with.
Yeah. Now, Steve, you don't have that much of a problem with it because you don't employ quite as much copyrighted material as I do.
Yeah, I don't now currently, but I used to. And the reason I don't now is because I got tired of dealing with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that much of a hassle. And it's actually one of the reasons I haven't posted a lot of, like, Judge of Character stuff as of late. Also, the fact that I haven't really been able to work on any new episodes. But that's one of the big reasons, is that just dealing with the Content ID system is so much of a hassle. It really just wear on you. It makes you not even want to do it for a good long while.
Oh, yeah.
But when I started making videos, originally I started off just making basic sort of comedy. Nothing really that special. The videos are still up on the channel, that's slightly reworked, but you can go back and watch those anytime and see we weren't that funny back then. But yeah, that's when I started, and then I kind of laid off of that for a while and started doing just real life stuff. And then I discovered the Nostalgia Critic and Channel Awesome, and I looked at these people and I was like, I could do that. That sounds pretty cool. So I started doing that. Only at this point, Blip had already been up. God, I don't even know how long Blip TV was up at that point. Probably a couple of years by then, and I automatically started going with them because I knew that with what I was planning to do, if I went to YouTube, I was going to have to put up with the Content ID system, and it was just going to be a big hassle. So I decided to circumvent that entirely, and I went with Blip. And that's where I posted my videos for about a year. Then Blip shit canned me. That's putting it politely, by the way. No, Blip cut my show loose, as well as a whole bunch of others, including Musical Hell and just all sorts of others I can think of. And then not long after that was the total Blipocalypse, where it, basically just fell apart because they were bought by Maker, which was itself owned by Disney.
Right.
So when that happened, I was like, well, shit, now I've got nowhere else to go but YouTube. And sure enough, when I went there, I had to go back and re-edit pretty much all of my videos. And yeah, it was just horrible. One particular instance was the episode I did on Inigo Montoya. Like, I had to go back and edit all of the videos in some way, shape, or form. But that one in particular was really bad because I had an entire segment of the movie about his backstory. And YouTube did not like that. They did not like that at all. And they pretty much was just like, they immediately threw a claim on it, or whoever owned it, they threw a claim on it. And I had to go back and re-edit it. So the first time I did it, I took it down and I cut out as much dead space as I could. I flipped the image so that maybe I could kind of fool the Content ID system. Didn't work. When I uploaded it again, it immediately got blocked worldwide. So nobody could see it. And when that happened, I was already just tired and wore out from what I was dealing with. I was just like, fuck it. So I took out all the footage from that particular scene and put up a bunch of title cards, basically explaining what happened. And that video is still intact the way it is now. You can go and see that. And you can actually probably see through the title cards how pissed off I was. But that's one example. There's been countless others I've had to put up with. Some of that I fought, some that I've taken the video down, reworked it, and put it back up. And my problems are just a small part of the overall bullshit that goes on with Content ID. I'm sure you've heard of like what I Hate Everything has had to go through.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I saw that and was just like, that is bullshit. Just bullshit.
That was bullshit. I feel what Team Forcer had to go through was even more bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Because they've been through it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it's set up. Everybody or anybody can just be like, "Oh, I just copyrighted material claim," and unfortunately, it works for them. They can steal fucking money from you, and it's
exactly. You know what? As of today, the CEO of YouTube, what's her name again?
Oh shit, I can't remember. I can look it up real quick though.
And fair enough. The CEO of YouTube did tweet.
Susan, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Susan, we'll call her.
We'll call her Susan. Yeah.
Susan tweeted, mentioning Channel Awesome in particular, saying that they are hearing what people are saying and they're taking it under consideration. There was a longer version of basically a blog by one of their employees talking about the situation. The problem is they really kept it incredibly vague, at least for me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everything they mentioned was basically, we hear you, we understand your complaints, we feel that, the way we've been doing things has been working, but we'll listen to some we understand there's a few problems we could fix, and we'll do what we can.
Yeah.
That sounds good on paper, but it's a far cry from, we know our system is fucked up, and we're going to make amends and make sure that we fix it.
Yeah. And really, that to me sounds like just lip service at the moment. Until I'm very much the kind of person, I forget now what it's called, where you want results before you actually believe what they're saying. But I'm very much that kind of person. It's like, I don't want to just take their word for it. I want to actually see results before I can honestly believe them.
And I'm the same way.
I mean, especially with the way they've been, that's pretty much all you can say. You want to see them actually do the stuff. You don't just want to hear them say, "Oh, we'll fix it," because saying you're going to fix it is not the same as actually doing so.
Exactly.
And until they actually do so, I have no choice but to believe, you pretty much just don't care. But one thing that I do hope that this campaign does is it brings so much more attention to the plight that we have, and it is a plight. We go through this all the time, some more so than others. Jess, I know she's regularly talking on Twitter about how many claims that she's still got left to appeal, how many strikes that she's got to deal with, and it's just insane.
The last video I did that had copyright material was me and Zenith. We reviewed Carpool at the last Con Bravo, and I was nervous as hell. I'm like, there's no way this is not going to get, caught by YouTube, pulled down, whatever.
Yeah.
But son of a bitch, if it's not still up and it's going okay.
Yeah.
Even Tom Arnold himself saw the review and he's like, hey, it was funny. He mentioned me. He's like, the fat guy was hilarious. I'm like, oh, cool. Fuck you. I'm fat, but you didn't have to say it. But awesome. I'm glad you think I'm funny.
Hey, you take what you get.
Exactly.
I remember once I was compared to looking like, what was the name of the guy that played Wesley in Star Trek? Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton, yeah.
Yeah, someone actually compared me, and I guess they meant it as an insult, but they said something to the effect of like, "Man, Will Wheaton really let himself go," and I'm just like, should I be offended? I mean, Will Wheaton's pretty big as a star.
He's pretty badass.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know if I can take that as an insult, man. I mean, if that's what you intended, I'm sorry, it didn't work that way.
And even if he intended it as an insult, it's like, okay, I'm bigger. Fuck you. We're Americans. A lot of us are bigger.
Hey, that's more than love, man. That's just more to love.
Exactly. Wait, are you American or are you Canadian?
I'm American.
I'm just checking.
I'm American, man.
America.
But yeah, this whole thing. I mean, like I said, I'm glad people are finally talking about it because the biggest thing I feel is that this has been going on for way too long, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
It has, and it is.
Yeah, I honestly feel like this has become basically a tipping point for this whole issue, because now it's happening to people who actually have some pull out there on the internet. For someone like me who has a rather rinky-dink channel, I can shout all I want about this, and I'll never probably get results about it. But someone like Channel Awesome, they can shout to the heavens about it, and people will actually say like, okay, yeah, we're gonna listen to you now.
Which is what happened. Channel Awesome, Markiplier, Alpha Omega Sin, a bunch of big name YouTubers have been talking about it, and it has been noticed, as the CEO of YouTube has mentioned.
Yeah. It's actually kind of. I was actually surprised to see Markiplier comment on the video as well as Jacksepticeye. I was like, wow, I don't know how much copyright BS they have to put up with, although I'm sure they have their fair share. What would being Let's Players, but it's nice to know that even they acknowledge the system is fucked up.
Oh yeah, and Markiplier even said when he commented on the Channel Awesome video. Which he did.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he's had to deal with it in the past. I mean, there are some companies who, if you stream footage from their game, will content ID you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's had to deal with that. And it's purely because they're dicks. They do not understand, I think a lot of it stems from people nowadays, or at least companies nowadays, do not understand how modern gaming, modern video, modern YouTubing works.
Modern media in general.
Thank you, exactly. Modern media in general. This is not 2005. This is 2016.
Yeah.
A good chunk of media, whether it's movies, TV shows, games, what have you, takes place over the internet.
Right.
And you can either fight it and be a little bitch, or you can accept it and figure out how to make some money off of it, which some companies are doing. Netflix in particular, they any movies, any TV shows, anything they stream, the companies who own the rights to that have to get paid to be able to show that. And there have been some negotiations with Netflix for, how much they should get, blah blah blah. I'm not getting into the details of that, but my point is there is a way to make money with this. It's not a lack of money. It's a new form to generate income. And a lot of companies don't understand that. They're stuck like, no, we want the old ways. We want you to go out and go to a store and physically buy a CD or a DVD. Yeah.
Jesus, I don't even remember the last time I've done that, except to actually go buy a movie from like Walmart or something.
I have never. Okay, I'm not going to say never, but I haven't bought a DVD from a physical store since I can't even remember. Anytime I need a DVD for like a review or just because I want it, I just go on Amazon.
Yeah. And that's another thing is you have shops like Amazon, Netflix, all this stuff can be done online. I mean, for fuck's sake, you can order groceries online.
Of course.
And it's just the way the internet is now, and just the way technology is now. This is going to be the future. I mean, it's exactly what you're going to be seeing is people. It's all going to be digital content, and you can either, it's like you said, you can either hold on to the old ways and, look like a freaking idiot, or you can, join the rest of us in the future and actually do something about it.
Exactly. And you know what? It's not even the future anymore.
Yeah.
It's the present.
Yeah, I mean, what version of internet are we on? I mean, like, I know some people have called it 2.0. It's like, well, we're 2.5 now, I think. I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't care.
It's always been the internet to me.
Exactly. But like, you say you can join us in the future. No, it's not the future. It is the present.
Yeah.
Streaming movies online, paying for movies online, all that stuff, it is the present. That is where we are. You can you can either fight it and in the process look like a douchebag, look like a company who's out of touch, or you can embrace it and say, you know what, you guys want to, pay to stream our movies online, fine. We'll sell our rights to Netflix or Hulu or whoever. Or you know what? If you want to pay for it on iTunes, we'll charge a low rate. You can buy it online. I'm fine with that. I buy movies on iTunes all the time. I truly do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's the thing that pisses me off is it's a lack of understanding of what we've got going right now, and it's just the idea of how this technology works and how this is the norm these days,
Exactly.
One thing about this campaign, though, is that part of it, the tagline is "Where's the fair use?" Well, fair use is actually only a part of it. Another part of it is the system itself, and we've talked about that, but I don't think we've talked too much about the actual fair use component. Because
fair use is very tricky.
Yeah, fair use. A lot of people automatically think it's just an automatic defense, like, oh, it's fair use. You can say that and you're covered. Not exactly true. Fair use can only apply to so many situations. I'm pretty sure there's some videos of mine, like earlier videos, that might not actually qualify for fair use. I mean, I'd still use that defense because that was the intent behind it, but
there are definitely quite a few videos that I make that cannot be constituted as fair use, but then again, I don't monetize them, and I don't do that for a reason.
Yeah.
But the whole situation is so very intricate, especially because people have been debating for years what exactly fair use is.
Mm-hmm.
And the major problem is that no one has come to a conclusion like this is fair use and how much can you use and this and that, because the companies want to try to restrict it to as much as they can.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had a brain fart there for a second.
By the way, hey everybody, I'm Zenith Rule. Sorry I'm late.
Damn, I didn't even realize you were in here. I thought that was Steve talking. I'm sorry.
Well, fuck you too.
I was off in my own little world trying to figure out how to get the stream to actually go out on Twitter, and it just didn't occur to me that the voice had switched. I'm so sorry. Hey, Zenith.
We're that close. Zenith, as anyone may or may not know, is my, he is my Turk to my JD. He is my bro.
He's my brother from another mother.
Exactly.
I'm so sorry about that. Like I said, I was off in my own little world, and I didn't even realize you jumped in. Yeah, I don't think the link for the stream went out automatically like it was supposed to, and I don't know how to do it manually. So I'm trying to tell everybody on Twitter, just go to my channel and watch it there.
Zenith, what are you chewing on? Because it sounds delicious.
I'm actually getting some dinner because I did not have time to do that.
I'm not judging. I'm just asking what it is because it sounds awesome.
It's Dunkin' Donuts.
Ooh.
I went out to a bar like a few minutes around like 7:45. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go out for a beer with a friend, and it's gonna take 2 minutes because it's a bar and it won't take long. The service was so horrible that it took an hour to get 2 beers.
Ouch.
Jesus.
And then get our check. So I'm trying to eat some dinner right now. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. That's fine.
The service was so horrible that it took an hour to get 2 beers.
So we have Steven, we have Magic Steve, we have Steve McCool, or Steve the Wicked, rather, and we have Zenith Will Rule. Two Steves, a Dave, and a pizza place.
I'd watch it. So Zenith, share a little bit about some of your experiences with Content ID and its nonsense.
Well, when I first started YouTube, from the very beginning, basically there was a lot of restrictions on what you could and couldn't do, and a lot of my videos were either taken down or flagged immediately. And this was back before the Content ID days where they would just take your stuff down. So I moved over to Blip because of it.
Yeah.
And after Blip shut down, I had to return to YouTube because that's the best way to get an audience. So what I did was I just put all my old stuff on YouTube. And by that point, I had a lot of really high-profile series, like History of One Piece had gotten pretty popular by that point. And putting on YouTube, I had a YouTube channel separate for it at the time, but I was kind of condensing everything into one space. And Funimation started claiming everything that, all of History of One Piece, and not just Funimation, like there's claims everywhere for History of One Piece because it was getting popular and because it was getting traffic. Now, Funimation all of a sudden dropped all of their claims, and I think this has to do with the Team 4-Star channel, because Team 4-Star had been working with Funimation, and they struck some sort of deal, and they're very good friends with them. So after a while, all my claims went away, and then Toei started stepping in. Toei does not understand fair use. They do not understand anything dealing with fair use. Now, I know a lot of my History of One Piece videos are fair use because they're very heavily edited to the point where I don't think even like 20 seconds goes by without some sort of cut, some sort of either visual or audio edit. And to the point where it is not even close to the original source material. And every single episode would just be claimed by Toei. I've had to fight every episode multiple times, and a lot of the older episodes I have gotten to monetize, but the most recent episodes, including the one that has like 18,000 views, which is the biggest one right now, those are still claimed by Toei.
Jesus.
So I'm not looking for money. I'm really not looking for a profit on this. I have a very successful Patreon, and the people who want the series to continue contribute to that. That goes back into the show. But it just, I'm afraid, when I put up the next episode, it's going to be claimed and they're going to try to take it down. And when things go up, I want it to be available for Patreons and then for everyone else immediately.
Yeah.
So it's a hassle. It's a really big hassle. I've also had problems with Final Fantasy Retrospective where a lot of the clips that I thought were going to be flagged weren't, because I used like stuff like Chumbawamba to make a very big. It was a joke about copyright and how I was using a clip that had to be done in Final Fantasy. Like, do you know Dwayne and Brando?
I can't say that I do, no.
Well, there's this band called Dwayne and Brando on YouTube, and they did this fantastic Final Fantasy 1 song, and I used like a very small clip of it, and then I had it cut out to the this video has been stopped because of copyright picture.
Ah.
And then I went back and I rewound the video, and then I said, okay, let's use Chumbawamba instead, and I get knocked down. And I was afraid that song was going to be copyrighted, but that wasn't flagged at all. I was actually flagged by the Megas.
Really?
Because I used a clip of their song in the review, and I was flagged by it was Story of the Year. Story of the Year, because I used their music as well. But overall, like I won the copyright battles, and I won that in the end. But it's just like the problem with this system is that the things that you think you're going to get flagged for, you're not. And even though I had everything, audio synchronized, cut in such a way that it should not be copyright infringement, I was still getting claims, and I was still getting YouTube saying that I was doing things the wrong way, even when I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned Dwayne and Brando.
Yep.
Proud to say they're from my hometown, Flint, Michigan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, they live in the same city I currently live in.
Nice.
I've reached out to them, said, hey, you want to be in a video? And I am 100% proud to announce right here on this podcast that they said no.
Damn, you got my hopes up for a second there.
No, they definitely said no. But that's okay. They're still amazing musicians. If you haven't looked up their stuff, I highly recommend it. It's good stuff. I was actually shocked when I found out they live in Flint, so it is what it is. By the way, they, just like me, are dealing with the Flint water thing right now. Yeah.
How is that going, by the way?
Where I currently live, I am in a section of Flint that does not have to deal with it. My water comes from Detroit. But as far as the sections of Flint that are affected, yeah, they're still affected. They still don't have clean water.
That's just sad.
It is.
Man. Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Thank you. You just completely threw me off with that.
Oh, don't worry. Anytime, man. Anytime.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, it's kind of weird, the stuff that gets flagged that you're just totally not expecting. Like, I've been flagged for stuff that you look at and you're just like, wait, what? That got hit? And then there's things that you look at and you're just like, this is totally going to get flagged. This is totally going to get flagged. Nothing. Like, my Elsa video has not gotten a single claim at all. And I was fully expecting that one to get hit all sorts of times by Disney.
A lot of my Disney videos, I expected to be flagged for a lot of stuff, but those were claimed by UMG.
Oh,
which,
God.
may I remind you, they do not own anything. And I was using a song that was not in the film. It was a cut song. And I was showcasing the song because this is a song that has not appeared in any media. And they tried to claim it. And I'm like, bullshit, and I won that claim. But like you're right. There's a lot of stuff that you think it's going to get claimed. I thought like stuff my I thought that stuff like my entwined video would get claimed, but I got nothing on there. I thought that um, what else was there was another video that I thought was going to get claimed, but it wasn't. But my review of Honey Pop was claimed. I don't know why, but I'm fighting that right now.
Yeah.
It's there are things that once they start to get popular, you'll get claims on them no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I was shocked that our Carpool review did not get claimed. I really thought that was going to get claimed.
Yeah, I thought that there was something was going to get claimed on that. Maybe it's because Tom Arnold liked it. I don't know.
I really have no idea. Like, I mean, he may have been the star of it, but he wasn't the producer or anything, so he has no say in that. I really have no idea.
I mean, maybe it's the kind of thing where it's so old that like people aren't looking at it. Like my Master Keen review, I thought that was going to be completely copyrighted, but because it went out of print, we didn't hear anything from it. But with something like Carpool, I mean, that wasn't too long ago, I don't think.
It was mid-90s, but yeah, that's... I mean, like, there were certain things that I intentionally did not put in the final cut. Like, initially in the script, I had a montage of all the times they played the Ramones song, you know, I wanna be sedated. Yeah. And when I went to editing, I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure YouTube is gonna fuck me on this. So I cut that bit out.
Yeah, it's like I said with the Inigo Montoya episode. You know, I've got all that footage got hit. So instead, I had to put up a bunch of title cards, basically explaining what was going on. It was just like, man, this is bullshit.
Yep. Which is why my flagship show, Oh, hold on a sec. Rugen. Sorry, my cat was about to step on my keyboard.
Cat's like, human, I demand attention.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he is being a little asshole tonight.
Well, isn't that all cats?
True. But, like, with my flagship show, the Magic Steve Show, where I go out and I interview people, that's not on accident. I do that on purpose, because if I'm putting out my own content, YouTube can't do shit.
Exactly.
If I use royalty-free music from... mostly from Kevin MacLeod at Compotech.com. Cheap plug. Ding.
Hey, I use them too.
Oh, yeah, we all do. Which, by the way, Kevin MacLeod, if you're listening to this by rare chance, thank you so much.
Yes. Truly,
from the bottom of my heart. You are an amazing man.
Yes, thank you. You have come up with a lot of good music that we've used in our videos that it always seems to work. It just
absolutely.
Fits.
Mm-hmm. But, I use his music, and I put out all my own material. If I use a copyrighted clip, it's very sparingly and very rare, and I wish I couldn't. I wish I could use more stuff. There are plenty of times where I'm like, damn, this joke would be hilarious if I could just use this clip.
Yeah.
But I err on the side of caution, and I say, you know what? It's not worth fighting over, so I don't. And it's all because of YouTube's copyright system being broken.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually gone the opposite way myself. I started off erring on the side of caution with a lot of my stuff, especially my Gurren Lagann review and stuff like that. I didn't use as many clips as I wanted to. Lately, I've been battling so much that I'm just like, kind of like Jim Sterling said in Jimquisition, it's gotten to the point where if you do everything in your power to avoid this and you still get hit, what's the point in avoiding it? So I've actually started using more clips and more jokes, and just, it's still fair use. I do adhere to that policy, but at the same time, I'm just like, why keep skirting on my tippy toes when every time I post something, I'm going to get a claim regardless. So I'm going to use as much as I can because my audience still enjoys it. So yeah.
I will say there is one good thing that has come out of YouTube's content ID system for me, and that is it's forced me to be more creative with my editing. It's forced me to think, like, how can I do this without triggering the content ID system? So you start thinking, well, I can put this kind of clip here, and then I can use this clip here, and then I can do this, and I can do this, and it keeps you from just sitting there and having one whole bit of footage play and just letting that do your job. That's the one good thing that has come out of it. Otherwise, total clusterfuck. But, that's just me.
No, I can definitely agree with that. It's, without that, it definitely is a clusterfuck, as you put it. The big problem I see is that YouTube just doesn't seem to care.
Yep.
I mean, they say they do. They say we're looking into it, but when push comes to shove, they really just don't seem to give a shit.
Yeah, they just don't.
Zenith?
My big issue is this. I don't appear on camera very often because of issues I've had in the past with stuff like that. It's just easier for me to have audio and then appear as a cartoon character and just overlay footage. Again, I heavily edit my video footage because of this.
Yeah.
But this puts a large strain on me with YouTube, where every single time I put up some sort of footage to demonstrate the point I'm talking about, they will claim it.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of the problem with audio-based series or series that, we can appear on camera. I've done it, in our crossover with Magic Steve, but it's harder for me when I don't have a crew and my camera is very different and syncing. I've done things on camera, syncing it up. It doesn't work as much as my audio-based reviews.
Right.
Which, by the way, that reminds me, didn't you record a crossover with someone at MagFest?
Yes, I did, and that was the first time I actually used my camera to record it. It was a nightmare because I had to stop in the middle and I had to transfer footage to somebody else's computer, and he had to give it to me.
Oh, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I had to do the same thing back when I worked for that which shall not be named, the company owned by Gerald and Robert Millions. We're not going to mention. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I had to when I worked for them. I had the same issue. They brought me out to C2E2 to film, and I only had so much on my memory card, so I would have to keep stopping, transferring footage to their laptop, erasing it, starting over again. It was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Especially because my camera only takes 10-minute bursts of film.
Yeah.
So I have to constantly keep cutting it and cutting it and cutting it because it exports to .mov, which is huge files. And that's a problem. But also because the audio on my camera is really not the best. And that's another thing where I use an external microphone to make myself sound a lot better in my videos. But then to have to sync it with 10 minutes in each interval, and you have to keep syncing that footage, that is a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Dude. I have a piece of software that I need to, when we're done with this podcast, let me know. I discovered it way back when, and I use it all the time. It syncs up your recorded audio with your video footage damn near perfectly. Like 90% of the time, it's flawless.
Oh, okay.
For those who are watching the stream, if you're curious, it's called Pluralize. It is not too expensive from what I remember. It's been a while since I purchased it, but it is well worth it if you are constantly syncing up audio with video footage. It makes it so much easier. So much easier.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the route I had to go to get my stuff working. But then again, I have a bunch of expensive, complicated shit. Yeah, I understand that problem very well because my camera is the same. It only takes 20-minute recordings. I have a Nikon D5100, so I can only do the at most 20 minutes at a time, and somehow I'm able to actually get that.
See, I've got a Canon 70 and 5D, which take about 12-minute recordings at a time, and a Canon XA10, which takes about, I'll say, roughly 15 to 20-minute recordings before it'll keep recording, but there's a little break in between. Excuse me.
You're excused. Yeah, you don't get a lot of time to record, but damn, does the picture look good.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I understand that problem because when I got my D5100, I could use the onboard microphone, but it sucked because it's a DSLR camera, so it's not actually designed for video making all that much. So I had to use an external microphone, which it wasn't a bad one. It was okay, but I wanted to do better, so I wanted an XLR microphone. Unfortunately, the camera isn't compatible with an XLR, so I had to get a preamp that could convert an XLR microphone to the audio jack it had, and I think really all in all I've spent about $3,000 on the various things that I've bought for my show.
Oh yeah, we've all been there, my friend.
That's just like a camera. I don't even want to know how much money I've spent on my computer. I really don't.
The big problem with DSLRs is, as you mentioned, the audio. DSLRs have a feature called automatic gain.
Oh, God.
And what that means, yeah, you know what it means.
Oh yeah.
For those who don't, what that means is when the DSLR is recording and it's really silent, it will automatically increase the gain. Your gain is, the best way I can describe it is the volume of your microphone.
Yeah.
How sensitive it is, what it picks up. Now, if people are talking, it will lower that gain to try and even out the EQ. The problem with that is that you will get so much background noise. Now, it's better if you use an external mic, but it's still not perfect. The best way I found to combat that, if I'm recording with a DSLR, I use an external audio recorder. At the time, I was using a Zoom XA or X410, I believe. Zoom makes a lot of different external recording devices. Good company. I was using one of those, and then I would record the audio, sync it up with my video via Pluralize, and then use that in Premiere to edit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I use something, I can't remember the name of it at the moment. Juiced Link, I think. I have to look it up real quick. It's a preamp, and Juiced Link Ricky. And what it does is it's a combination of an adapter for an XLR microphone, but it also is a preamp so that it kills the gain thing, and it's just so much better. It's so much. I can basically get studio grade kind of audio onto my little camera, and best part is I don't have to sync it up in post because it records it onto the camera as if it was an actual XLR port. Best investment I ever made, or rather, best investment my parents made because it was a Christmas present.
Nice.
Hey, you can't turn down Christmas presents now.
Not at all. See, I've recently been recording everything on my Canon XA10, which has two XLR ports incorporated into it. It gets just as good quality as my DSLR. About the only problem I have with it is getting a low depth of field is problematic. Not impossible, but problematic. In which case, I just use my DSLR. For general run and gun videography or photography, it really does the job. Again, I have two XLR ports incorporated into it. It's a good camera. I recommend it.
I'll have to look into that.
Now, that being said, nowadays, I mean, that costs, when I bought it 2 years ago, it cost me $1,500. For about $2,500 nowadays, you can get a 4K camera from Sony for about with the same specs, if not better, and it shoots 4K.
Personally, I use a Canon Rebel T3i, which
nice.
I had been shopping online for a camera for a while. I had been using I think it was a Sony handheld cam that my parents gave me for my birthday because originally I was using a cameraman, and the cameraman turned out to be someone who was stealing for me in the show. So I decided to break away with that cameraman, and I had to figure out what I wanted to do. And the Canon was the Sony Handycam was okay, but it just wasn't up to snuff. So I wanted to get something better for the show, and I got the Canon, and it's really, really good. I'm really, really happy with the picture, and I still swear by how great it comes out. But seeing the audio, I was just not satisfied with that. So it's one of those problems when you're trying to make something like look and sound good at the same time.
Right.
Sure.
It's not always easy with these cameras. I would love to have the shotgun mic that you have, Steve, where it picks up everything, it sounds good, and it still has that picture, and you don't have to sync everything up.
Yeah.
I do have a decent shotgun mic. It's made by Rode, but with that being said, if you hook that up to my DSLR, it would not sound nearly as good because, again, DSLR cameras all have the automatic gain feature, which will ruin your audio. An external mic helps, but it's not going to completely cure the problem. If you are shooting with a DSLR, the best bet is to get a good microphone connected to an external recorder.
Right.
The cheapest option I found, there is, again, the company Zoom makes a external recorder for the iPhone that I purchased for a friend of mine for a Christmas gift, and you get pretty damn good quality audio from it. As far as the Zoom, I think it was H4n. Yeah, it was the H4n. That's the model I used. I think it only costs like $200 or $300. It's not that expensive. I mean, I know that is expensive, but comparatively, you got to weigh it against what you're getting for audio.
Yeah, I use a Rode NTG1.
That's actually the same one I'm using.
Yeah, it's a damn good microphone. I've had no complaints with it. It's just, in order to use it with my camera, you have to have that preamp so that you can actually plug it into the camera, or go with the way you use it and have that external recorder and then have to sync it up later in post.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's the way I used to use it.
Yeah.
With my XA10, I already have the XLR inputs directly into the camera.
That's right, yeah. The thing that the main reason I got the Juice Link Riggy thing, I can never remember the name right. The main reason I got that is so that I can get rid of the AGC, and just not even have to deal with that. It's not even an issue for me anymore. As long as I've got that plugged in and working, it works perfectly.
Well,
With
cool.
me, right now I'm using, for external mic, I use a Blue Yeti USB mic, and I swear by that because, every time I just, I take the audio, I play it back, I listen to it, it comes out really, really nice, and I just layer music under that, and I mean, everything comes out nice and clear with that mic.
I really recommend the Blue Yeti. That's what I'm using right now.
I wish I had it right now. I'm at my parents' house. I was doing some laundry, and I don't have any of the stuff that I use on my show besides my computer. So
the Blue Yeti I use for any voiceover work, but obviously on the spot, on the job stuff, I use my Rode.
I'm currently using an Audio-Technica 2020 USB microphone right now with a pop filter. I don't know how well that's actually working.
Yeah, you know what? Not to interrupt you, but I have a pop filter on mine. It's currently connected right now. It doesn't seem to do shit for me. Like that last video I made, the creepypasta, I had to do a lot of post-editing to get rid of pops.
Yeah.
And even with the pop filter, I'm just like, aren't you supposed to take care of that?
Yeah, this one seems to work pretty well, so I just don't know how well it's translating into the stream. Can anyone hear a bunch of pops from my mouth?
No, you sound fine, man.
you sound fine. I can't hear myself. Then again, I'm not using my setup, so
Sound fine to me. We all sound fine. We're all fine.
Hooray!
Maybe not mentally, but you know.
We sound fine. That's okay. We're gonna make it anyway.
All right, so we've only got about 10 minutes left. We'll get back to the topic at hand real quick. So, what do you guys want to see actually change? Like, what kind of changes do you want to see happen to the system to hopefully make it better?
Well, I can tell you exactly what I want right now. First of all, I want to be innocent before being proven to be guilty. Like,
Yes,
right now,
absolutely.
everyone is guilty before being proven innocent. It's a very backwards way of doing the system. And what I would like to see happen is you get a claim, and the video is not affected in any way. I understand that there are people abusing the system to where they can still post their content, and their content should not be allowed. But at the end of the day, when my videos, they get posted immediately, they're claimed, and they're either banned worldwide or there's something, and I have to wait 30 days before I get an answer, and then I have to appeal that claim, and I have to wait another month.
Yeah.
I should not have to wait 2 months for my video to get money, where I'm losing money, and I should not have the other party monetizing that video.
absolutely.
I think that's probably one of the biggest changes that needs to happen is instead of having them get the money that you should be getting, just like Doug says in the video, you put it into like a side account, or just it doesn't make money at all or something, so that they're not basically stealing from you, because that's what it amounts to.
And
Absolutely.
like I said, I'm not in it to make money. I like making videos. I would like to make some sort of profit off of that if I could.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, when these videos don't even have a chance in hell to make any sort of profit or any sort of impact, when they're claimed immediately.
Yeah. One change I would like to see happen, apart from the side account for the money, shorten the amount of time necessary for them to have to respond. 30 days is too damn long.
Yes.
Because
Especially because if at the end of that 30 days, like that last day is the crucial part when they don't respond, or if they do respond in the very last time frame, like that's a dick move, because you have to wait another 30 days or longer.
that's like that asshole on The Price is Right, that or whatever game show it is, where they ask, "What was the last bid?" "All right, I bid $1 over that." It's kind of like that, only 10 times worse. Not the best analogy I've ever come up with.
Let's say you just got a strike on one of your appeals,
Yeah.
and you have to wait for that to go away. You can't appeal a video that they waited 30 days and just said no. Like, they could have responded to you at any time, at any point.
Absolutely, and especially with the ones that are actually manually done in place. Pretty much all but one of my claims that I've ever gotten was bot related. The one claim that I got that was manually placed was from BBC, and it was on the episode I did about Mary Sue's, and it was because I used footage of the Doctor from an episode of Doctor Who to highlight how he was a positive Mary Sue. I fought that, and within 2 days the claim was released, and I basically explained, this is fair use because I'm using this video to talk about this type of, literary function. And if it's something that has been claimed by a person, 4 or 5 days is more than enough time for them to respond.
Oh, absolutely.
This 30-day nonsense is just that, nonsense.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and just like this person said in the chat, Warner Music Group is notorious for that. They are, among others. That waiting until the last day and then, oh no, we're going to reject your dispute.
Right. Or, as Zenith mentioned, Universal Music Group, who doesn't own anything, and they'll wait the 30 days and then just, reapply the claim.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't win the appeal because UMG doesn't own anything, and they won't see you in court. But regardless of what they do, they're just going to be dicks and get all the money from your video and then just scamper off to whatever corner they're living in.
Yeah. And it's especially bad because videos on YouTube make the majority of their views within the first month. Hell, not even the first month, first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So when you put up a video that immediately gets claimed and that claim won't go away for 30 days, or maybe even more, you've essentially lost all of that monetization right there, even if you do win the claim.
But there are, examples like viral videos who they've been uploaded for, let's say, a year or two, and suddenly, for whatever reason, they become popular.
Yep.
There are, examples where that happens, but generally you're right.
Yeah.
Now, go on.
I mean, the only case I can think of with my videos is I uploaded a One Piece opening video. This was never intended to be monetized. I did not monetize any of it because, again, that's not fair use.
Yeah.
But that drew a lot of people to my channel when it went viral, and I think it has almost 4 million views now. That's, but then again, once it starts getting viral, it starts getting noticed, and I've had it taken down once, and I had to appeal to get it back up, even though I was not monetizing it.
Yeah. I've had that happen too. I forget now what video it was. I uploaded one that was not monetized at all, and it got a claim, and it was being monetized by someone else. And it's just like, what kind of bullshit is that when I did not even intend to make money, and all of a sudden you're making money off of it?
Exactly. Like, I'll tell you this much. Zenith puts a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of custom stuff into his videos. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've never even seen One Piece, and even I want to be his friend.
I spent $200 on that last video alone.
Wow.
And I don't see a cent out of it. I don't care. I put a lot of love into the artwork and the care and direction in everything I do, and it breaks my heart when the moment it goes up, it just says, "Oh, this is owned by Toei."
Yep. Yeah. Which brings me to my point. What I would like to see, I agree with both of you on what you would like to see change with the fair use, with the copyright, regulations with YouTube. What I would like to see, and it's been mentioned before, but I truly, truly believe this would be the biggest factor in changing things, penalties for when people file a claim and either lose or find that it's a false claim.
God, yes.
Penalties. Let's say, we have our 3-strike law as content creators. Well, let's say you have a 3 or 4 or 5-strike law for claiming. If you claim 3 times within a set period of time and they're all found to be
false,
fair use, or false, guess what? You lose all your claims for a set period of time. Not forever, because let's be perfectly fair, companies, content creators, whoever, they do deserve to protect their copyright, but if
there are legit cases of piracy out there.
Exactly. But if they are out there consistently putting out false claims, well, they lose their rights to place any claims for a set period of time. Let's say 6 months to a year, whatever.
Yeah.
If they have 3 knocks against them within a year, well, 6 months after that last knock, they can't place any claims. They're done.
Yeah. And it would definitely help because, they're targeting all these people who are fairly using the copyrighted material, but they're not going after the people who are blatantly pirating. Like, I know exactly where to go on YouTube to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Exactly.
It's distorted as hell. They've got the picture angled and the audio is pitched down slightly, but it's still blatant, copyright infringement. And that channel is not being hit at all. Instead, they're coming after us.
Exactly. Before I started this podcast tonight, I was looking for a certain clip to show someone. So I went on YouTube and I typed it in, and I found the entire movie streaming for free.
Yeah.
With French subtitles.
Yeah. I mean,
when people can upload entire films, entire clips from any franchise, why should we, who use a fraction of that amount, be penalized?
Yeah.
Because we're an easy target. That is all it adds up to. We are an easy target.
Yeah, it's exactly that. We're an easy target, and we actually have an audience. You know, those people who just do the copyright infringement, they don't actually go out and try to make something of their channel. You know, we put work into our channels. We actually try to make a go at this. So we actually try to build an audience, and they see that and they're like, oh, these guys are trying to make money off of our product. You know, they conveniently ignore those people who are genuinely pirating their shit. It's like, why are you coming after me when this guy over here is blatantly stealing your stuff? But honestly, I kind of think, I hope that I'm wrong, but I kind of think that it's not going to truly change until someone goes to court.
Well, they're going to court now.
That they are?
Yeah, I read something online today. Now it's a class action lawsuit or something along those lines. You and I will never see a dime from it, but it's something about YouTube's copyright policy, and there is a lawsuit being filed.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Now, I don't know all the details, but I do remember Nash tweeted about it earlier.
Oh, was it that Merlin thing?
Merlin? I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I mean, I remember seeing those tweets too. I mean, and that's another one that just really pisses me right the hell off. For these people that you can tell you don't have any real say in this material, and yet you want to claim it anyway. Like, fuck you, asshole. But yeah, I do hope I'm wrong, but I do see that the only way this is going to end, either positively or negatively for us, is if it finally goes to court and someone actually, fights to say what we're doing is fair use. But again, I hope I'm wrong, because I wouldn't want to wish anybody to have to go to court for us.
At the end of the day, it's very hard to say what's going to happen with all these court cases. I really do hope that a lot of these companies are fake companies like UMG and Merlin, people who try to take money from people and don't own shit. I really hope that these are taken down, because again, YouTube is protecting themselves because the companies are the ones pressuring them to do this. YouTube may not care, or they may or may not care. I don't know. But I do hope that the people who are abusing the system get taken to justice at some point.
Agreed. I like to think that YouTube does to some extent care, but they are a big company, and big companies have a tendency to stop caring about the little guy once they reach a certain size. But I'm slightly jaded on that regard. But yeah, I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt and think that they do to some extent care about us and what's going to happen, because if it gets bad enough, I know YouTube is big and a lot of people use it, but if it does get bad enough, they're going to start seeing a lot of people leaving. It may be to just go to Vimeo or something, but they're going to leave, and that's going to affect them.
Yeah.
It's starting to get to the boiling point where, yes, a lot of the other avenues don't have a high traffic right now, and maybe there's not something as good, but people are going to start looking into other avenues, and then once everyone leaves YouTube, someone's going to create something different that doesn't have these restrictions. Yeah. And they're going to start hitting it big, because the era of YouTube has long since hit its prime. YouTube is in a downward spiral, I want to say. It's not gaining as much ad revenue as it used to. It's not gaining as much press as it used to. And even YouTube Red is starting to get a lot of flack from people. Yes, YouTube still has the biggest traffic, and it still has a lot of people who use it every single day for Let's Plays and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I can see in another 5 years that YouTube might hit the way of blip.
See, I can't see it going the way of blip. It's too ingrained in the public eye. Even people who don't use the internet, like I have friends of mine who legitimately don't do anything other than email and Facebook, and they know about YouTube.
Yeah.
I can't see it going the way of Blip, but I can see their views, being dramatically decreased in the next 5 years. And by the way, I looked it up. I was wrong. I just want to admit that. What Nash was tweeting about was the theoretical implications if there was a class action lawsuit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
One thing that I think we can definitively agree on, though, is that we're reaching, like you said, a boiling point. Something is going to happen, and eventually it's just going to blow up. And the question is going to be, whose face is it going to blow up on? With everything that's happened with Channel Awesome, Team 4-Star, I Hate Everything, and the stuff that continues to happen on a regular basis with smaller channels and the blatant abuse and just outright thievery, enough people are going to get mad and are getting mad, and it's going to eventually erupt.
See, if it's going to blow up in anyone's face, my hope is Jenna Jameson, because she's a pro, she's been through it before, and gosh darn it, she knows what she's doing.
I can only hope that things will get better. I mean, and it's not just companies who abuse the system. I've had people upload entire videos of mine and posted it online.
Oh yeah.
There has to be something in place, and if it doesn't happen or happens soon, then things will get big. I mean, we've been dealing with this for years now, and it's gotten to a point where a lot of people are just not willing to take this anymore.
Yeah.
I did a TV commercial for a local credit union a few years ago, and we discovered that a different YouTube channel had stolen the commercial and posted it on their channel as an example of a funny holiday commercial. And their channel had way more views than ours did. The credit union in question decided not to file a copyright claim because, hey, it's still advertisement.
Yep.
But my point is that they never asked us. They never contacted us. They just said, hey, this is funny. So they took it. And at the same time, it honestly made me feel good. I'm like, all right, my shit was good enough that it was worth stealing. I feel accomplished today.
Yeah.
And I found it funny when someone tried to take one of the early History of One Piece episodes, and they posted it as the History of One Piece. The funny thing was, if you're going to try to steal something, don't be lazy about it. For one thing, it clearly stated that it was part 1 in the video, and also at the end of the video, I state exactly who I am, and it was not this person on this channel.
I have not quite gotten popular enough to have anyone steal my stuff. Not that I think it's really worth stealing.
Oh, fuck you. Your stuff is good.
Well, I try. But alright, I think that's gonna do it. We're clocked in at 1 hour and 8 minutes. We've talked about the nonsense that is YouTube's content ID system and how it needs to fucking change real damn quick. Thank you for joining us for the stream. If you're watching this later on as the recorded video, thank you. Hopefully YouTube will fucking listen and will change their shit post haste.
Indeed. And before we cut out, on the count of 3, guys, where's the fair use? 1, 2, 3. Where's the fair use?
What the fuck, YouTube? Thanks again for joining us, everybody. We'll see y'all later. I'm Steve the Wicked.
I'm Magic Steve.
And I'm Zenith Rule.
And we will catch y'all later. Bye.
Peace.